This video is brought to you by the Farmer Klein YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at Estancia São Carlos map. This map can be found over at the farmingsimulator.com website or the in-game mod hub, and as of the 1.0 release, this map is available for all platforms. But before we get into the map, this video is brought to you by Etienne Martin. Thank you for being a farm baron. So let's read a little bit of the description. Estancia São Carlos is a Brazilian map based on the region in the municipality of an area of Brazil. Yeah, I'm not going to try that. The map with small town accompanied by a gas station and a mechanic. The map has 23 fields with missions, and the map includes additional crops in sorghum and brown beans or black beans. Basically the same general crops that we have seen crop up on lots of the other Brazilian maps that we have had as of late. Sale of grains in general can be made in the warehouse or at Boa Vista. The Boa Vista warehouse accepts grains, potatoes, beets, sugarcane, in addition to bales of cotton, wool, grass, silage, and straw. The animal dealer, there is also a selling point for silage, straw, and grass. In the city, it's possible to sell potatoes, beets, eggs at São Carlos Market. Milk is sold at the dairy. There is a sawmill for log and wood chip sales. And as we have learned to come to expect, there is a limestone mine on the map for purchase of limestone. Each farm has a water fill point. The main farm comes with a house for sleeping, chicken coop, and pasture for sheep, as well as there are two other farms available for purchase on the map. All three of those farms include sleep triggers. This map is not prepared for seasons, so it does not have a custom soil map, nor does it have a custom, it does not have a custom seasons mask. There we go. And it is not prepared for precision farming, so it does not have a custom soil map. So with that, let's go ahead and load on into the map and, well, see what's going on. So as we do with typical map videos, we are going to load up the mods that we use for these videos. We'll go up and pull up the log. Now, if you load this map up in Farm Manager or start from scratch, you will not own any land, but all of the farms will be laid out exactly how you're going to see them here. And you do have equipment in all play modes. So you can see we start here at the shop. This is our career start point. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. So we'll zoom on out. And the first thing you're going to notice is, boy, this map has some big fields. So we do have all the crops available to us here on Farm Sim 19, as well as sorghum and brown beans or black beans. We take a look here and zoom on in. If we take a look at the lands area, you're going to see that we own the main farm here, which is sheep, chickens, and field 20. That can be sold for $829,000 or purchased for $829,000 if you are playing on a different play mode. We have another farm over here that is pretty much set up as an arable farm for $604,000. We have a dairy farm over here for $1.1 million. A biogas plant, which you can purchase for $195,000. The unbuyable land, which is the sell points, the mine, and the perimeter, that you can buy for $2 million. And then pretty much everything else on the map is buyable. So that is pretty cool. I like when you can pretty much buy everything on the map. Now, if we take a look here at our soil map, again, this is going to be the generic soil map. So here we get a real good picture of the generic soil map, given the fact that this is so much field and the fields are so large. You can see we have a big patch of loamy sand and sandy loam in the middle. It is surrounded by a little swath of loam. And then we have our typical silty clay making its way around the perimeter and then down through the south of the map. Take a look at the sell points. We have 2 main sell points available to us on the map for our grain crops. We have 3 sell points for potatoes and sugar beets, 1 sell point for eggs, a different sell point for our milk. The bale sell point is also going to take our cotton and wool. We do have a wood chip sell point at the sawmill, and then we have 2 sell points for silage, hay, straw, and grass. If we do not own the BGA, if we do own the BGA, of course, that would be a 3rd possible sell point. We have 2 sell points for our beans and sorghum as additional crop types, and 2 areas to sell our pellets should we use straw harvest. We take a look at our starting equipment. It is all fairly well maintained, other than the poor John Deere 6145M. It needs maintenance, and it's actually at the mechanics shop right by the shop where we are right here. All of this equipment is available in all play modes. We do not have any animals at the start, and we do have contracts available to us. Now let's go ahead and take a look at that starting equipment. Start out with the Star ST Max 105, the Massey Ferguson 7719, and the John Deere 6145M. So our tractors range in horsepower from 120 to 210 horsepower. We have the Warrior Semi as well as the John Deere T560 Harvester, 1978 pickup truck, the Crampy KS950 tipper trailer, Star Ninja 19,000 auger wagon. We've got a set of headers for our John Deere harvester. We have the 625X grain header and the 608C corn row header. We have the Agrama PH5 plow, the Star Fox 11 cultivator / cover crop seeder. We have the Porsche Mistero 12SW planter, and it is set up to plant our sorghum and our beans. With the Kuhn Deltas 1303 sprayer and the Kuhn Axis 40.2 fertilize spreader. Now we have the Aquatrans 7300S water trailer, and we have a header trailer and a weight. So no placeables are owned. We cannot sell the sleep triggers. We take a look at the animal pins. There are no custom animal pins. No miscellaneous mods. We do have a custom small bunker silo. Nothing under decoration or sheds or, again, farmhouses. So while we're here at the shop, we might as well buy our Mahindra. We'll see where all of our equipment spawns in. So hopefully our equipment spawns in that general direction as opposed to this direction, but we do have a pretty large area for our equipment to spawn in at. And given the size of these fields, I think it's pretty darn good because, well, if we can get outside of this fenced area, we're going to want to use it on these fields. Let's go back to check out the field sizes. Field 13 is 103 acres, or basically 38 hectares. Field 1, right in front of the shop, 53 acres, or 18.49 hectares. I would say field 11 is probably close to the smallest field on the map. And it is... So this one doesn't include any extra land. Field 9, 15.6 acres, or 5.15 hectares. So these are some pretty big fields on this particular map. Now, as I said, right next to the shop, there is a mechanic, and that is where your John Deere is. So we have our fuel. And there's something else that's really interesting about this particular little town, although I'm not sure why it's set up this way. So here's our John Deere. We can indeed get in that. That is ours. And it's right up here by this particular shop. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about this town. This town has little individual buyable plots. So $48,000, $53,000, $91,000, and $50,000. Well, one of them is right in front of us. This house right here. So I thought to myself, oh, maybe I could buy this, right? And then maybe I can sell this house. And it's basically, I could have put a house down and have a little house in town as a farmer. Well, now that I've bought that property, I still don't have it in the owned items in my garage. So I can't sell this. I don't get a sleep trigger. So I don't know why I can buy this property because I can't sell any of these. None of this land has buildings on it that can be sold. And in all play modes, these houses are here. So again, I don't understand why I can buy the property but not sell the house or make use of the house in any way. Get some altitude, and we will do our obligatory slow pan around to kind of get a lay of the land. So we can kind of tell the map is not flat, but it's not super mountainy. It does go up the hill quite a bit as we progress from east to west. The tree line here is basically the map edge. So most of our vision here is looking beyond the map edge. They did do a decent job of lining up the road with the tunnel there. We have our sawmill directly below us. Field 1, the biogas plant. See the shop. One of our sell points. Our second sell point off in the distance there. One of the farms is over here to our left. Another farm is off in the distance, way off in the distance. And then the third farm is basically directly in front of us. Now you will see that there are fields that do have these electrical poles crossing them. These poles do have collisions. There's also trees you're going to find scattered around in fields. These trees also have collisions. So that is something to be aware of if you are playing with hired helpers. They will obviously want to avoid all of these. Or if you are playing with something like course play, you're going to want to make sure that you enable the island mode. So there we have our biogas plant. Let's see, the arable farm is over here just past field 7. Just a field we're flying over right now. And as I said, each farm is going to have its own house, water trigger. This is just a little arable area, so it just has a shed. Here we have what we've learned, kind of the obligatory lime mine for Brazilian maps. Our animal dealer and bale sell point is down here at the south edge of the map. As I mentioned earlier, we have our other grain sell point right here. It is also where we're going to sell our wool and cotton, as well as our bales. The dairy farm is below. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more altitude, so we'll clear the ridge as we fly closer to the starting farm, which includes field 20. And the starting farm is obviously where all of our equipment is, as well as a sheep pen and chicken coop. So to our left, we have field 20 that we own. That is the only field that we own at the start. And then we have our main farm right here. I think what I'll do is I'll just do the kind of walk around of the main farm here, and then we'll go back to the shop. So we have our chicken coop. So we have our 5.4 chickens, 400 chickens in this particular coop. We have our egg spawn point under this shed by the firewood. And then the food trough is actually on the other side of this building. So here's the food trough for the chickens. We have a water point right here. None of the farms have a silo included. They all have water, just no silo. So if you do want a silo, you're going to have to put your own down. Here we have our modest farmhouse. Sorry, I think actually this is our farmhouse over here. So there's the sleep trigger on that. Semi, as we've seen here, we have some of our equipment under that shed. We have additional equipment inside of this shed. Sprayer and harvester. More equipment on the side of it. And then we have our sheep. So our wool spawn point is right there. We have our sheep buy point, 250 sheep. We have our food trough and our water trough for the sheep. Now again, if you've not seen our videos on maps, we activate the animal pen extension mod, and we do that to help us, one, locate where the water trough is. Two, it will help us locate where the milk trough is for the cows when we get over there. And it helps us see if the map should happen to have custom support for these pipes. The fact that those pipes are where they are tells us the map does not have custom placement support, but it's okay because we can move those pipes around. We've got a loading ramp here, just nice to see, for us to get things on and off of flatbeds. And that is pretty much the starting farm. I mean, that is a pretty big sheep area. 250 sheep, though. But still, it's a pretty big sheep area. So also at the workshop, or at the shop, we do have a customized trade buy and sell trigger. That is right over here. So we have one here, and we have one kind of on the other side of town where our John Deere was located. So I think what we'll do is we will just kind of check out the areas here around town and then make our way kind of around the map and finish at the cow farm, since we already took a look at our start farm and there really isn't anything up over there. So we'll check down here. We'll go down the road, go over here to the mine, and then over here. So right here we have San Carlos Market on our right, and that is going to be a sell point for our egg, or no, so sorry, our eggs. It's going to be a sell point for, oh, what is it? Like our root crops and eggs, right? Yep, eggs and our root crops. That is right there. Here we have the dairy. And then our sawmill. So we have our log trigger right here. We have the activation icon over there at the building. And then we have our wood chip sell point right here. Now this particular pile over here, there is no trigger over here. This is just decorational. Let's get a good feel for the traffic speed on the map. See, the traffic runs at about 20 miles an hour. So not the fastest traffic we've seen by far. We have our biogas plant here to the left. So we have our silage bunker for our biogas, our digester and digestate. And then just down the street, we have our first sell point for our grain. Oh, is this a cake? Oh, okay, it's down here. During my reconnaissance of the map, I fly around. So we have a scale house, and then we have our dump station. We see this particular style dump station a lot on these South American or Brazilian maps. So we have our dump station there. And then this road would take us up to our starting farm. So now let's head on down to Boa Vista Bales and Warehouse. It would be nice if this traffic on this particular road was a bit quicker, for sure. So we have our scale house. And then our bale sell point, which includes also cotton and wool. And then, as we have seen, we have our dump station. Now let's make our way over here to the animal dealer. So here we have the animal dealer. And then we have another bale sell point right there. It is labeled straw. So straw is right here. And they're going to take our silage, hay, straw, and grass, as well as Boa Vista bales, which is right around the corner. So it seems a little interesting that we would have two sell points so close to each other. Now, let me see here. Okay, so the preferred way to get to the lime mine appears to be to double back. So let's just save a little time and cut across the field here. I mean, I won't tell if you won't tell, right? So I do find it interesting that pretty much every Brazilian map has included a lime mine. Well, the mines are done well. I think they look great. It's just really ironic that pretty much every single one has implemented a mine kind of in their own way. This one's really not hard to get down to. We really just have one curve that we follow. Get down here to the lime point, which is right here. Now, of course, you could also just make your way up this road. Okay. But the only issue is it's a pretty big cutback. I mean, we do have a pretty wide area to swing. Or down there, you could just double around down there and come up the same way that we went down. Also find it interesting that I don't think we have seen a single map other than that one map that did get removed. I don't think we've seen a single map that has implemented a seasons mask or a custom soil map. So that is also interesting. And I know a lot of people play seasons because they want snow. I know there isn't snow in South America, right? But there's a reason why Realismus changed it from a snow mask to a seasoned mask because, well, it will also mask the rain. So there we have our sleep trigger. So you can still play this map with seasons. It just will be that you don't have to worry about picking up your straw or hay because it will not rot in the event of rain. So this time, let's figure out the way we should have come in here. Appears to have been between fields 8 and 9. And then we need to turn back down the road that we came from with respect to Boa Vista bales. And find our way over to the dairy farm. Completely missed the road. So, you know, overall the fields are nice, rolling hills. But again, if you don't like having utility poles in the fields, or you don't like little islands where the trees are, then this map will probably frustrate you. But if you don't mind, I think this is a really nice map, especially for someone that wants to play with some really big equipment. The road access to the fields seems to be pretty well suited for some of the bigger and wider pieces of machinery available to us in Farm Sim 19. Over here we have the custom beans. This is the growing, and I believe this is the ready to harvest look for those. And we would harvest those. Let's take a look. We would harvest those with our grain header. It appears that we harvest our sorghum and our beans with their grain header. And we can also harvest our... I mean, we could harvest our beans and sorghum with this mowing header on the forage harvester also. And then our final port of call today is going to be the dairy farm. So once again, we have our farmhouse. This time it's this one over here. We have some nice sheds, very similar to the shed I think that we saw over at the other farm. We have our water silo, our water fill trigger, and then our cow buy point. 300 cows in this particular area. We have our straw point, our food trough, our water trough, and then our milk trigger. So this is the Lily milk machine that spawns in, and it helps us locate where the milk trigger is. You can get into this and move it around. So that is not there on maps where you do not have the animal pen extension mod activated. But yeah, here's your milk trigger. You have your slurry and your manure. And guys, that is Estancia São Carlos. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this map? I think it's pretty interesting myself. If I was looking to play a really big map, this would probably be up on the top of my list. Sadly, I just don't have an opportunity to do much gameplay at the moment with everything else I'm involved in. But hey, if you start playing on this map, let me know in the comments, what do you think of it? Are you enjoying it? And what type of equipment are you using on these huge fields? And until next time, happy farming.